Welcome to the Goddess Wisdom Podcast. Unveil your inner goddess and weave your sacred life. Join me, Maureen Keefe, the guiding goddess for this journey, and discover ways to claim the power of your divine nature. Explore how to transform the ordinary into the extraordinary and the mundane into the magical. Are you ready to embark on this journey? I invite you to dip your toes into the world of goddess wisdom. Join me now and let the magic begin. Welcome, goddesses. I invite and welcome you into the realms of goddess wisdom. In the last episode, we began tenderly opening the sacred bud of the many facets and expressions of goddess wisdom. Today, we will delve deeper into the essence and nature of the divine feminine as we explore how to awaken you to the goddess within you and reveal what keys she holds for you. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. I'm Maureen Keefe, your guiding goddess for this journey. I encourage you to begin your goddess wisdom journey of discovery with the original episode, the debut and virgin episode of Goddess Wisdom Podcast. Each episode has activations and energies that stir your awakening along the path of your sacred journey of unveiling your inner goddess and weaving your sacred life. Recording your experiences in some manner for personal reference is highly recommended. I assure you, it will be the gift that keeps on giving to you for the rest of your life. That is how powerful this journey is. I don't care how evolved you already are, you are being called to a new level of accountability and expression of your soul's pure essence. Before we get into today's topic, awakening you to the goddess within, let's align with our divinity. I invoke the essence and spirit of the goddess of goddess wisdom, the overarching divine feminine principle of all that is, into our realms. We welcome the pure divine feminine essence that has flowed through all goddesses that have come before us and is awakening us to her presence within us now, men and women alike. I open to remember and bring through this wisdom in its purest form for all who will hear this. Blessings, everybody. So first, I want to weave an important reveal from our last episode into this one, which is that part of the divine feminine reawakening involves a paradigm shift. Instead of moving away from pain, which makes pain our prime mover, we are moving toward pleasure, which makes pleasure our prime mover. Instead of escaping pain, fear, separation, we are embracing pleasure, love, union. Seemingly subtle and inconsequential, this shift actually has massive ramifications. What we focus on, we create more of. This is why embracing the divine feminine is such a secret weapon we don't have to battle against. What appears to be the power move actually is not, because what we resist persists. We cease battling against because what we focus on, what we give our attention to, speak of, or think about, we give power to and draw in more of the same. So focus on what you appreciate, what you desire to experience more of, and what is working. Embrace this gradual, powerful process of rewiring your mind to love, accept, allow, and make choices in alignment with your desired outcomes. Instead of building walls, we consciously choose to shed illusions and stories that divide us. We find our way back to our heart, and through that lens, make choices informed by the power of love. This is often a gradual process, but it is a powerful one. Again, I invite you, please do find a way to record your observations and experiences to enhance and integrate your own awarenesses regarding your personal expansion. Your awakening matters. I invite you to acknowledge your progress every step of the way. Okay, so coming back into real time, wow, wow, wow. Creating this week's podcast episode was intensely challenging for me, and it's also why it's late. I had company coming, which is an extremely rare event. So consequently, there was much to be done to accommodate this. When I signed up to do the podcast, when I consciously agreed in my heart to commit to following the guidance of the divine feminine to bring forth this information for others, I had a desire to cultivate a richer, more meaningful, and fulfilling life experience for myself. I recognized I'd been living in the closet of my mansion. Since the pandemic, my life has gotten really small. I've been living a work, not a life. I knew that many people were also really struggling with the state of the world we live in, and I had a deep desire to uplift and inspire others who also desired to reclaim lives worth living. Know that the offerings I create are all intended to support you on this adventure. You can find these at members.maureenkeefe.com. Create a free account to see what treasures await you there. Fundamentally, though, the me side of this vision requires that I make time for more meaningful engagement with the people who mean a lot to me. I also have a deep need to have more fun in my life. All work and no play makes this goddess, me, a very watered down version of the expression of my soul's pure essence. So that's why I added one more thing to my already overflowing plate of to-dos. The greatest challenge of adding this to my plate was that I'm creating each episode by being an instrument of the essence and spirit of the goddess of goddess wisdom, the overarching divine feminine principle of all that is. The whole process requires that I be fully present in divine feminine allowing. First, I connect with Sophia, the one divine mother, creatrix of all life, and Mother Earth, uniting and activating heaven on earth within me. And I call in the goddess of goddess wisdom. From here, I open to receive, and I allow what is to be shared to be revealed to me as an unfolding. This is how intuition works, also how tapping into psychic information works, and also how creative expression works. It's also how receiving or tapping into guidance works. If you've ever written something and were needing a specific word, it's that pause, that pondering moment of allowing, of opening to allow that word to present itself to you. Opening to receive goddess wisdom is very similar to that. So as I go, little blips of information light up, guiding me to different resources and different topics. It's like following the breadcrumbs, stringing the pearls, or connecting the dots. It's really a wonderful way to create, but you have to be in the right frame of mind. You must be tapped into the right energetic frequency to accomplish this. Open and receptive does not pair well with stress, overwhelm, and panic. This is a key point to note when it comes to consciously awakening to the goddess within. So that created the biggest challenge. Stress, overwhelm, panic, and endless to-dos block our access to our guidance because we're not in the frequency or state to receive it. Time crunches, financial obligations, and too many commitments, even fun ones, can become deterrents and distractions from our spiritual aspirations. The bottom line is life gets in the way of our connecting with our inner goddess, and operating from our divine feminine can be very challenging. It requires a conscious commitment on your part. Know, though, that it is through that conscious commitment that all of the forces of the universe will show up on your behalf to make it so. So now let's delve deeper into goddess realms. First off, I want to share that my original title was Awakening the Goddess Within. Then I realized I needed to shine a bright light on something that's not often emphasized. Our inner goddesses are wide awake, alive, and well. They're patiently waiting for us to wake up. Our inner goddesses are waiting for us to wake up to our higher calling, for us to hear them summoning us to more fully express our soul's pure essence. I'm wanting to share a quote from Sarah Durham Wilson from the introduction of her book, Maiden to Mother, Unlocking Our Archetypal Journey into the Mature Feminine. Do note, this is going to be our March book club pick for the Goddess Book Club. I'm very excited about it. I feel it's going to be a deep dive into the pools of discovering your own transformative powers. You can sign up to join us at members.maureenkeefe.com. Sarah did a beautiful job of illustrating the importance of cultivating a relationship with our inner goddess. She referred to a quote by her idol, Marion Woodman, who's now on the other side of the veils. She was a Jungian analyst and author. Marion stated, "If we don't tend to the fire inside, it will kill us. But if we nourish it, it will guide us." Sarah elaborated. She, Marion, is referring to a voice inside that we often silence because it terrifies us. It will change everything we know. It will demand our greatness. It will require we accept the adventure life is calling us into. So now I'll elaborate. This fire, this voice, is our inner goddess. Here's why awakening to the goddess within you is so pivotal. If you're suffering with depression, there's a 99.999% probability that you are completely denying this fire inside. It is that fire inside that must be expressed for us to flourish. Taking the time to go within, to hear the voice of our inner goddess, and then listen to this voice, and then follow through with this guidance, no matter how much it scares us, is imperative in order for us to thrive. Something just struck me as I was sharing this. I just connected a major dot for myself. Okay, so I believe that our beloved planet Earth is essentially a playground for souls. It's a serious game, though, because what happens here actually informs and influences worlds. From what I understand, our life experience on planet Earth is a hologram for mastery. We come into these incarnations with agendas and intentions, but the overarching game is, how far can we get from love and find our way back, whether it is self-love or love for other. We incarnate into 3D, which is polarity, light, dark, black, white, pain, pleasure, fear, love, etc. So in the game of mastery, we need an opponent with which to develop and evolve these skills. I call this our sacred worthy opponent. It can be ego, society, belief systems, wounding, life circumstances, an actual enemy, etc. It's something or someone to bump up against, a sparring partner per se. I'd venture to say that we all want to thrive in all facets of our lives. So if we're being called to find our way back to love and to thrive, the sacred worthy opponent's role would be to get us to shut down our hearts. And they would have a number of strategies to accomplish this. One way to do this is by inserting fear into the program. Fear triggers fight or flight survival mode, which, as we've learned, activates our heart walls, fortresses, and fending off programs. It shuts down our sense of connection to others, and it compromises our body functions. And it limits our options down to staying alive at all costs. We go into contraction, which is life depleting, versus expansion, which is life affirming. Inserting fear of other into the program causes division and separation and engenders battling against that which or whom we are afraid. The line about following through with the guidance, no matter how much it scares us, got my attention. So fear can shut us down, but fear can also push us to move beyond our comfort zones. For example, scarcity can push us forward to take action out of fear. Out of fear, we take action, but this action also takes us out of fear. So it forces expansion. Yet to claim our power and mastery in this expansion, we must unplug from the motivator, which is fear. Here's how that has played out in my life. Scarcity, notice the word scare in that word, forces me to push past my neuroses. In the process, it revealed to me that I had CPTSD traumas. So to proceed, it required that I resolve the gatekeepers keeping these traumas and resistance intact as well. Interestingly, it was the revelation that my blocks were actually CPTSD that became the key I needed for their unwinding. You must understand that trauma remains trapped in our mental, emotion, or physical body memory, either conscious or unconscious, as long as these traumas remain denied. Once these traumas are brought to light and acknowledged, they can be resolved and healed. I had a calling to create a YouTube channel decades before I finally pulled the trigger on it. I knew that sharing my revelations and epiphanies was to be a large part of my personal journey of expansion, as well as my profession. As you can imagine, it took something really big to push me past the illusions and bondage of my fears. Desperation pushed me forward. I took action as a desperate measure toward manifesting the income I needed to survive. So, anyone who's savvy about the law of attraction or energetics is hearing the alert siren going off in their heads. Attempting to manifest out of desperation is going to get you what? More desperation. Gratefully, I had enough conscious awareness to recognize that. Another level of mastery was being called for in my soul's journey. The ante was being upped to hold my feet to the fire, to force me to again take action and move beyond these obstacles. What I've discovered is for me to shift my own game, I must transcend my natural inclination to contract in fear, and instead, I must expand in love and trust, excitement and celebration. I must catch myself in every thought of scarcity and turn it instead to appreciation for all of the abundance in my life. Sarah Durham Wilson also says, if we can listen to this voice, accept its challenges, and expand instead of contract into our suffering, we will find our true selves. We've been conditioned as a society to disregard our divine feminine aspects. By internalizing this devalue system, we have created imbalances within us and in our world as well. By reclaiming and honoring our true nature, men and women alike, we create stability in our inner realms, which is more critical than ever in order to successfully navigate these wild times. As you heal within you what is divided, you will organically reclaim your power in your own reunion, in your own unity. From this place, we begin to create stability in our outer realms as well. What we experience within, we will see projected onto our external reality. This is how the Earth Life hologram works. When we master our inner technology, thoughts, feelings, emotions, focus, and conscious choice, we affect change in the world around us. This is the divine feminine way. It is goddess wisdom in action. Claiming, embracing, honoring, and uniting all aspects of self will bring us back online with an ability to tap into goddess wisdom. It's an inside job and it's a superpower. It is truly a worthy endeavor as our inner goddesses holds the keys for our stepping into and expressing our fullest potential. To connect with her, we need to open our hearts. Our heart center is the access point to all realms. It's our own personal stargate. To gain entry, we need to drop all heart walls, all fortresses of defense we've built, and drop all of our empath energetic fending off programs. Instead of protecting us, these barriers block us from receiving the very things we're longing for. It is self-inflicted bondage. We shed these layers of armor and defense mechanisms through conscious choice and intention, and also by clearing the trauma from which we created them. Going within, quieting your mind, and listening are more passive divine feminine actions. Envisioning, invoking, summoning, asking for, intending, and affirmative prayer are more active actions of the divine feminine. These are all paths of accessing your inner goddess and activating and engaging with your own goddess wisdom. When we create from our heart center, we are activating the frequency of love. When we do so, the world around us changes for the better. In 1997, Greg Braden wrote a landmark book called Walking Between the Worlds, The Science of Compassion. In it, he discussed research by Dan Winter. Dan observed that the sine wave of love is almost identical to the curve of our DNA helix. The theory is that emotions activate our DNA codons. He believes that where the sine wave of the emotion intersects our DNA, it turns on those codons. Codons are genetic codes which, when activated, turn on gene expression, resulting in physiological functions. So if Dan's theory is correct, the frequency of love would be activating our fullest genetic potential. With this vantage point, I would say the frequency of love lights up the potential for our fullest expression of our soul's pure essence. All life forms are currently undergoing significant transformations activated by increased light coming onto the planet. The sun's solar flares are prime movers in this transformation. In 2006, Purdue University researchers discovered that a new neutrino, which is an infinitely small light particle, is being emitted from the sun. We're experiencing more solar flare activity than ever before, and galactically, we're moving through a photon belt, an electromagnetic field of light particles. Light is life. Light is information. Light is frequency. Light is pure life force. Light is consciousness. Light is goddess love. And light is also activating our dormant DNA, otherwise referred to as junk DNA. This increased light is a catalyst in our ascension process. An experiment performed on fish, exposing them to more light, genetically expressed as their offspring having more vibrant colors than their parents. These results are a good analogy for what we can expect as our dormant human DNA becomes activated by the amplified light arriving on the planet. It's already being expressed as enhanced innate abilities and expanded human potential, such as telepathy, precognition, and being able to see and hear broader sound and light spectrums. Note, too, All the social media posts of people in the age groups originally deemed middle age and old age, reclaiming their bodies with the appearance and fitness levels of people decades younger. They are breaking the molds of all preconceived notions. We are setting a new standard for ageless aging. This is precisely why I created Pearls from the Fountain of Youth, formerly called Drops from the Fountain of Youth. I changed the name because too many people thought I was selling tinctures. These pearls are pearls of wisdom, keys to ageless aging. 30 PDFs packed with holistic tips, tricks, and techniques for turning back the aging clock, which many also hold the potential to increase your emotional well-being, physical wellness, and vitality. These pearls are based on a full spectrum of sources, from practices rooted in ancient wisdom, which have upheld the tests of time, as well as current scientific breakthroughs in quantum physics, lifestyle practices, and nutrition. Find out more at goddesswisdompodcast.com and click on offerings in the menu to embark on your journey of ageless aging. Humans are electromagnetic beings. Electric is masculine energy, and magnetic is feminine energy. Energetically, we are a balance of male and female. Humans are walking, talking, breathing circuitries. Getting grounded is critical to our gracefully navigating these times and shifts. Grounding is connecting with the earth, our beloved Gaia, honoring her, honoring us, and recognizing that there is an irrefutable relationship between her and us. We'll learn more about this in episode 6. Honoring your sacred vessel, your body, mind, and spirit is a foundational level of goddess wisdom. Claim every single cell of your exquisite and sacred biotechnology with love and appreciation. Given Dan Winter's research, we now know this is a key to thriving. Clearly, self-love and the vibe of love is truly the answer. While researching the sine wave of the frequency of love, I happened across a blog by a man named David Eby. He's a musician who's researching and exploring the healing power of music. His title of his blog post is A Sign from God, and it's spelled S-I-N-E. He's referring to the universal love frequency. He states, sympathy, compassion, and friendship are all created by different overtones of the universal vibration of love. Perhaps love is the sine wave we're all looking for. I loved his intensely aligned play on words. While sharing David's blog, I discovered an exquisite treasure. He has a video on this page of a mesmerizing sound journey by Ruth Cunningham and David Eby. It's an impromptu collaboration they recorded in Princeton University's chapel on an iPhone. It is truly expressions of their soul's pure essence. Find the link on our show notes at goddesswisdompodcast.com, episode 5 page. It will take you places. So part of my closing ritual, I like to thank goddesses that have contributed to my life in various ways. Today, I want to personally thank Sarah Durham Wilson, the author of Made into Mother, Unlocking Our Archetypal Journey into the Mature Feminine. In one of the interviews I watched of hers, she discussed working with the dark goddesses. It's about fearlessly facing and owning your pain and shame and reclaiming your connection to life. It was so affirming regarding my own journey of healing. She shares her own walk of fire, radiantly lighting our way to the other side of our own dark journeys. This goddess is a mystic, a wise woman, and a rites of passage ceremonialist. She has inspired me in many ways, and I haven't even read her book yet. I invite you to join the Goddess Book Club and explore it with me. I also want to spotlight my goddess sister, Shelley McManus. She is the founder of Mystic Vibes Yoga and Sound Healing. Shelley's love of life, travel, and adventure will ignite the same in you. Part of her wanderlust led her to India, where she participated in an immersive yoga teacher training in an ashram. She leads a killer yoga class that is fun and effective, and she will rock your goddess vibe in 100 different ways as she hosts giant gong sound baths with singing bowls, chimes, rain sticks, and more. Contact her to create a yoga retreat for your tribe. Find her contact link at our episode 5 page at goddesswisdompodcast.com. Thank you for listening today. Are you learning anything new here? What have you heard that inspired you? Has something triggered a revelation for you? Please share it in a comment on our social media or on our website episodes pages at goddesswisdompodcast.com. Do feel free to email us at goddesses@goddesswisdompodcast.com. If you share a voice memo, we'll play it on the air. We would love to hear from you. If you would like to support our reach, please leave a review at Apple Podcasts. We will reward all forms of support by giving you a goddess shout out on our next episode. Join me for the next episode of Goddess Wisdom Podcast, where we will be exploring the web of life and our sacred circuitry and why they are keys to our thriving. Let love be your sign. Let it become your goddess vibe, and let's thrive. Goddess blessings and love to you and yours from your guiding goddess of the Goddess Wisdom Podcast, me, Maureen Keefe. I want to thank you for joining me today for the Goddess Wisdom Podcast. Unveil your inner goddess and weave your sacred life with Maureen Keefe. To cultivate a sense of community, consider joining the Goddess Book Club to embark on a deeper dive into your goddess realms and share the journey with other goddesses. See if this is for you at goddesswisdompodcast.com/book club. I look forward to you joining me on another Goddess Wisdom Podcast adventure. Until then, may your journey be blessed in all ways, with love and gratitude from your guiding goddess, Maureen Keefe.